Hi, I'm Charisma at Charisma's Corner, and here I am today with another tutorial for one of my patterns, and I absolutely love it. It's been in my design files for over a year, and that's just sometimes what happens with some of your designs, is that, I design something, I really love it, but I have all of these other deadlines, or I'm waiting for the right fabric or time to come along for it to come out, and Lifesavers is one of those patterns, and I just absolutely adore this pattern for several reasons. And we have it in a patriotic colorway here, and I used a basics line by Maywood Studios. I think these are Kimberbell basics, but also Maywood has a ton of tone on tone, white on white fabric. So actually in the center of all of these are different white on whites or tones on tones. And I did that on purpose because I wanted the pattern to have a variety of fabrics in the center, because I have some other colorful versions where maybe we put some nice florals in here, but then in each of these circles there's a variety of colors. But this looked very maybe Downton Abbey, patriotic for Quilts of Valor, something like that. So I made it in this more traditional colorway, but it's still sort of a little bit modern. And the pattern offers two sizes, so if you needed like a baby quilt size or a lap quilt size, you have that, but also this large 72 by 96 size. And it's actually a 2-block quilt. You can get the pattern at charismascorner.com. And I will show you how we construct those blocks, because it's so easy, and it looks way easier than you think it does probably, and it goes pretty quickly, even for beginner quilters. I think this is a great beginner quilters quilt. And the snowball block that we're going to make, I kind of do it in a different way than stitch and flip like many of you. I sort of found like maybe a faster way or a way to save fabric, sort of a way to do it. So let's get started, and we'll start with our snowball block, which is the first block, and it's the easiest. So I have my square here with this lovely tone on tone, and I'm just trying to get all the stray threads because I seem to get those everywhere. And I have in my pattern a template for you to use, the cutaway template, and just my public service announcement. I have my little test square, and I'm just going to test that to make sure everything is good. Absolutely. I do that every time. Lesson learned the hard way. So now we have our cutaway template, and all we're going to do is line that up in each corner, and then we're going to use, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I should have just made the template, but I have to do things the hard way sometimes. Okay, so I have my cutaway template. I'm just going to line up my ruler with that, and then I'm going to take my rotary cutter and cut that off. I'll just set those aside. Those will go in my scrap bin. And I'm just going to do this around every corner here. And what this does, it saves you from having to mark each square for the stitch and flip method, and it also saves fabric because you're not wasting any fabric. You're taking your square and cutting it in half on the diagonal so that you don't have all of those blue scraps in the scrap bin. You only have the white ones, right? And then all you have to do is sew them. You don't have to mark anything. You just cut them. And now we have our blue squares, or triangles, the squares that we've cut into triangles, and then we're just going to sew them on each end. So you just want to make sure that there's 1/4 of an inch on each side. You can just eyeball that, and we're just going to put those through the sewing machine and then press them. How easy is that? now we have all those sewn on. We're going to bring this to the ironing station. Take off another stray thread. And here we go. We're just pressing. And look at that. Our snowball block is finished. Block 1 is done. Now we're on to block 2, and then we're pretty much done with this quilt. So for block 2, I have these strips that I need to sew, and I have 2 different sizes of squares. So now I'm going to take my white strips here, and I'm going to sew one on either side of my red strip. So let's just go ahead and do that now. Okay, and I'm not going to press this yet because I'm not sewing over any seams, so I can just go ahead and sew this white one on the other side, and then we'll just press them all at the same time. Alright, and now I'm going to press this, but I want to press my seam to the red. That's the dark, so I'm just going to go on either side of this and just do that here. And now I need to cut my sections, so I'm going to go ahead and trim off the selvage of this end here. In fact, I'll just go ahead and fold this over. Okay, now I have my red and white sections here of my block, and then I'm just going to go ahead and assemble my units of this block. Okay, now I have my rows done for my block. I'm just going to go ahead and press to the dark on each of those. And how quick and easy was that? Now we just need to press this, and block 2 is done. See how quick and easy and cute that is? This is so exciting. Yay! So now we have our 2 blocks finished, and that's all there is to this quilt. That's really it. They just go together so easily. You just arrange them every other block, and honestly, you could make it as big or as small as you'd like. You could make a cute little table runner if you'd like, anything. So, lifesavers, that's the pattern. You have a little YouTube tutorial, and it is offered in 2 sizes, and just go ahead and go to charismascorner.com to purchase that pattern, and I'll see you then. Blessings!